Okay. Hi there. I am Camille Harris, owner of Camille Marie Coaching, and I'm here with Kelly Blakey, who is an emotion code and body coding practitioner. So welcome, Kelly. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
So as a counselor, I've seen many different modalities in helping people overcome trauma or difficulties in their lives. And the modality of emotion coding, which we're going to talk about today, was really fascinating to me because it's just so different from anything I've seen over my many years of working with families and children. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came into doing emotion coding?
Sure. I've been in behavioral health for 25, 26 years. I started off working in group homes, then psych hospitals, treatment centers, working with DDD kids. Then I started been a therapeutic foster parent for the last 15 years, ranging with autistic children that have autism, ADHD, bipolar, borderline personalities. And the borderline personalities have been my toughest for sure. To live with them day in and day out and to watch the traumas and the behaviors, and they just weren't getting better. They weren't getting better at school. They weren't getting better when they were going to certain types of counseling. And so one day when I was walking my dog, I was just thinking about the two that I have now. I just adore more than anything these Native American girls, and their culture is so different, and they just weren't responding to the traditional therapy. And so when I came across the book, The Emotion Code, and I read it, and it was saying that we could release the trapped emotions without them having to relive the pain, or they having to talk about it, or even understand what was happening, that we could still release and give them the benefit. It was huge. It was night and day, life-changing for everybody in my house and everybody I talked to, because I just could not tell enough people about this work.
So you and I have similar backgrounds where we've seen many different therapy modalities. We've worked with thousands of children, many of them who've been exposed to trauma in the foster care system. So that really speaks a lot to me how much different this protocol was than anything else. So can you tell us exactly what emotion coding is and how it works?
Yes. First, I want to encourage everybody to do the research on it because there's so much. I don't think I could do it justice in this short time. Yeah. Dr. Bradley Nelson's work, The Emotion Code. I know Dr. Joe Dispenza is endorsing it, Tony Robbins. But it's basically talking to your subconscious. We have a built-in, God-given resource to how to tap into what's going on in our body. As if like the mechanic will type something, enter into your car and diagnostic tool, if you will. So we're asking your subconscious through muscle testing, hey, what's causing them to have these panic attacks? What's causing the lower back pain? And your body knows exactly what is going on and what you need to fix it. So we just need to be able to ask it the right questions.
That's so fascinating. And you shared a video with me about emotion coding that was talking about how literally trapped emotions store in the cells in the body. And someone can have body aches or pains in different parts of their body, and what that really is emotions trapped in that part of the body. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. There's just so many examples and stories. Just a real fun one is, one of my foster daughters, her knee was bothering her, and she was very skeptical. She was like, I don't know about this. I'm like, come on, let's just try it, And so I went up and I was doing the muscle testing with her, and we found out that she had an imbalance in her meniscus. And to her, she was like, okay, whatever. And then as I did the trapped emotions with her body, she had trapped emotion nervousness, age 10. And then I further investigated, and it was school. And she was like, she knew exactly that it was the first day she ever ditched school. She said, we were leaning against the wall. We saw the teacher come by, and then we released the nervousness, and then her knee felt better. And she was like, I said, you need to go tell everybody that not to be ditching school, else they're going to have knee problems 5 years later. So because she had all of this nervousness and she felt paralyzed and stuck when she saw this teacher, 6 years later, it was still in her knee, and it prevented her from moving forward. Yeah. Which, how would anybody figure that out, unless you go right into subconscious and say, what's causing this? So it caused imbalances in your back, in your knee, in your lungs. We don't know what we're preventing down the road.
Yeah. So some people could use emotion coding if they're experiencing unknown physical ailments. What are some other emotional reasons people might use emotion coding? And we had talked before we had started this recording about the benefits of using this for children that are, or adults that are neurodiverse, autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, learning disabilities. Can you talk about how this would help with those kiddos or those individuals?
Right. I think it also can help them tremendously with their sense of confidence and their sense of accepting who they are and where they are and that they're okay. Because maybe at that point, somebody who can't perform as well as somebody else in their mind, that doesn't mean that they can't perform at all. But when they see these looks from other kids at school or their parents or anybody has these high expectations, they just feel, I guess, so almost decapitated at times, like they can't do anything. And so we release these negative beliefs for them that I'm no good, I'm not as good as the other kids, my mom and dad don't like me. These are beliefs that are floating around in them that keep them stuck and can cause them so quick to anger. If you just give your kid a slight look like to them, that could be 1,000 dirty looks they got at school. And their tank is so full that we're just really emptying out their stress bucket. So they can just handle what's on their plate at that time.
Yeah, so it can really benefit children tremendously.
We can't even imagine, how we affect the kids. We have a busy day, right? We're not even thinking about them. They ask me for something and then they walk away feeling rejected and worthless, and you didn't even notice.
Well, tell me, what does a typical session look like with an adult, and then how would you do this work with children?
Yeah, okay, so a typical session with adult, it can be over the phone or in person. Majority of my people are over the phone. And I take notes, email it to you, write down, you come up with like 3 or 4 imbalances or things that you wish were different in your life: physical pain, emotional, mental. I get panic attacks, or I have road rage, or I always get passed up for a promotion, or I've had a lot of parents that say, I'm just so stressed with my kid. Like I love my child, but I'm just not being the parent I want to be. Yeah. And so we cleared their own trauma from how their parents parented them and their expectations. So it takes about 45, 60 minutes. Sometimes we do just straight releases and that's it. Nobody has to give me any other information. Sometimes I'll bring in all my, experience, and we'll do like more of a social work, little therapy session if they want it, but we can get straight to work and it can be very private. You don't need to disclose anything about yourself that you don't want anybody else to know.
Okay, and that's, people's lives are so busy now, it's really convenient that they can just call you and do it over the phone, schedule it in, don't have to meet with you. Yes, Can you talk about now how you do this work with children?
Yes, so probably the youngest one that I've worked with over the phone, child does not have to be present. The mom and dad can listen in. I can work from a picture, or they can just send me a list and say, this is what's going on with my kid. They don't even have to be there, which still is mind-boggling. So if you guys get the book, research it, you're going to just get it and learn it yourselves. I mean, It's amazing. Kids, I'll definitely tailor down to be asking on their level, like what's going on with, school and kids on the playground, and what do you wish you could be better at? I try to, make it very safe and friendly for them. And surprisingly, they really light up and they're like, and then this and this and this. And you're like, okay, well, wouldn't you rather not have to work that hard? And they're like, yeah. So I try to make it very comfortable and easy for them. And especially when they're in their own house, they're a lot more comfortable.
Well, and I'd like to share, as you know, you and I have worked together for 3 sessions for myself, and then we also had a session for one of my own children for some trauma he's had. And so Kelly at no point talked to him. She just worked with him through me, and I'd shown her a picture of him, and the change we saw in him was undeniable. I mean, I was so blown away. And we continued for weeks to see that change continue, which is something I experienced after I worked with you. Each time I just saw things continuing to shift because I had released some old issues, basically, that were trapped in my body that my subconscious wouldn't, my mind wanted to make decisions, do things a certain way, but it was like my subconscious was like, no, we're diverting to this way. We've always done it because of this thing that happened to you. And I saw the same thing with my son that I had experienced, and it was really remarkable. I don't know that I would have fully believed it until I had seen it myself, how powerful it was.
It is when you just see your behavior shifts.
Yeah.
When I first was doing it all the time, I was only seeing my boyfriend on the weekend, so he didn't see me during the week, and I was doing this like on crazy, myself. And every weekend he would be like, "Who are you?" Because I spent so much time almost training him to make sure he didn't say this because this offended me, and don't say this because this might trigger me. And I'm like, "Oh, that's fine. That doesn't bother me." And "Oh, I'm cool with that." And he'd be like, "How are you not upset with this?" I'm like, "It doesn't bother me anymore."
Yeah.
It just happens.
So how long have you been doing this, emotion coding?
So I became just obsessed, really just studying and doing this. So now I got certified in 2015. I've done over 4,000 sessions
Wow.
so far with all the notes, and to look back and the testimonies and the life-changing that people, it's miraculous. I put a very strong faith in God, but people, they have the universe and they have their source and spirit, that there's something out there on their side wanting to help them be better.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that I found really helpful after the sessions was that you did send an email follow-up just highlighting what we had covered, and that, you had spoken about testimonies. That was helpful for me to reflect back on several times, like, oh yeah, I am seeing that all of those things are no longer there. So.
Right. And should I add about how I got with the foster care agency and how I went about with that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because when I first, because I have my bachelor's in psych and master's in social work, so we're CBD trained and, more academic and textbook, and this is how you do your therapy sessions and stuff. And my foster care agency was like, "Wait, what are you doing? You can't, And I'm like, no, look, I'm certified, I have all the certificates. And they're like, still. So I had to write a research paper, showing them the science and the quantum physics and all the parts of it. And then I started to get permission from CPS because I'm not their legal guardian. So I had to, then I was doing sessions on the CPS case managers. And I was a little bit nervous, but I believed so much. And then I did on the therapist, even did session on the psychiatrist. They were like, I don't know what this is, but this is working. They're watching the kids get off the medication quicker. They're watching, they're doing better in school. I even did a presentation for 9 case managers out on the reservation on the little trailer, just me because they were like, "What's going on?" So after that, they were like, "You can do it on as many kids. Can we bring you kids to do it on? Because this is just amazing."
And now you do that.
Yes, that was my goal. My first goal was to be working with the kids and the parents, because we send the foster kids home and their parents didn't get healing. The parents have trauma. The parents are frustrated.
Well, as you know, I have a contract with the Children's Administration in Washington State, and so I do work with foster children, families involved with CPS, and this would be so remarkable they all have trauma. How can they not? I mean, just being involved with the department, that right there is trauma. And so if we were able to address that from the get-go and then do the work I do with them, the parenting classes, man, we would have such good outcomes.
And to teach them, to do this. So I encourage everybody to learn as much as they can and come to me and anybody else that knows this modality. It's very efficient.
So you had mentioned a research paper you had done on this. Can you speak at all about the efficacy of this program? What kind of research is being done on emotion coding?
Yeah, so this concept is not new, but it's more new to the United States than it is into other countries and cultures of muscle testing and energy healing and energy psychology. I do know there are research studies going now to prove the efficacy of it. I think they said they're about halfway through collecting all the data and analyzing it. So similar to when EMDR first came out, everybody said, I don't understand this. And then after all the data come out, now insurance is like, sure, we endorse it. Same with mindfulness. The success is out. We just need to gather all the data, but it is in process.
Yeah. Do you know if it's covered by insurance yet?
Not yet. It's not covered by insurance, but I'm hoping once all the research data and stuff, I mean, even Dr. Bradley Nelson was talking about even the concerns with, that struggle between the holistic and the pharmaceuticals, because you can go here. I've worked with kids that, have headaches. Well, they would just go take an Advil or a Tylenol, right? But if you're not going to take that, everybody's going to be losing money.
Right.
So how far they're going to get. Less hospital stays, less psychiatric stays, less everything.
I think it speaks a lot that people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, people like that are really picking up on this. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to share about this, the work that you're doing?
It's just so exciting. The results are different for every person. I just had a session earlier today with the daughter of, she's an adult, but I worked on her mom earlier for just anxiety brain. She couldn't turn her brain off, and it's just over and over and over. And so right after we got off the phone, she was like, I don't feel any different. And then the daughter's like, just wait, but she woke up today and was like, oh my gosh, I had to fight hard to think about what usually stresses me out.
Oh, I love that.
So just to have the monkey mind and your stress, just calming your brain down and getting to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
We get so focused on, I got to fix my child. I got to help this person. I got to do this. We forget to have fun.
Well, in my part of the world where I live, we have a lot of traffic, and it seems to be increasing. And I'm noticing this like microaggression and just this constant edge in the air. And that would be a great trapped emotion to release.
Yeah. When I have someone zooming by me at the 90 mile, I'm like, well, they're probably a surgeon on their way to the hospital.
Oh, good. I try to thinking that.
Create stories. It's probably not true, but it's. Yeah. I feel better assuming they have good intentions than assuming they have poor intentions.
Right. So, how would someone get in touch with you? How would someone find you?
My website, helpinghealer.com, and it has my email on there. Is ckblakey9@yahoo.com. And also I think it's under helpinghealer.com. And we can talk about it. I can give you some more information. There's so many videos out there. If you want to send me an email, I can kind of give you the ones that I think would save you time to look at. You could get lost in all this and just be so exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
I will definitely, when I upload this video, include your phone number, your email, and a link to your website.
That's fantastic. And I love what you do. I mean, people need, I compare it to, okay, so if somebody fell off a bike and they were scared, a little 5-year-old, whatever, just scared to death to get on the bike, I could clear the imbalances. We could clear panic, fear, shock, but somebody needs to teach them how to steer the bike. How do you pedal? How do you use the brakes? So it goes really well in tandem with what you do, because one, we can move the blocks, but there still needs an education piece on how do I teach my child? How do I behave in these situations?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like what I do and what you do go at tandem very well together, because how can parents not have their own issues, and then that impacts how they parent? And then just if kids have stuff, helping release that, and that benefits the parent and the child. So I've definitely seen it with my own life, how well it's.
Blame and guilt, right?
Yes, because there's no such thing as a perfect parent, and we all have our own baggage and our own things we're feeling like we're doing wrong all the time as a parent, because it's a very hard job. I always tell my parents it's the hardest job in the world, being a parent.
It is, and if we criticize yourself all the time, you're just stuck in angst.
Yeah.
And then you fulfill that to your kids. Yeah. Well,
thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I really hope that families get a lot out of this.
Yes. I'm so excited about you guys even learning it and knowing that there's hope for you and your kids.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.